Hey you guys. So I just woke up from a nap and I wanted to come on here and share a couple dreams that I've been having lately that are honestly kind of scaring me and disturbing to me. And I actually have not had the Lord really give me kind of end times related dreams in years. I have several of them. I do have them written down in binders. They're uninterpreted, of course. But for those of you who have been with me on YouTube from like the 2011, 2012 days, actually I started in 2012, when Christians were really doing a lot of prophetic dreams on YouTube about Obama being the Antichrist and things like that. I was around in that age and I was uploading my content and my dreams from the Lord about that as well. And I still have some of them on YouTube, but they're private, and I have no intention on publicizing them because of the content of the dreams that I was having. I was having so many dreams about Obama and who he was that as I was uploading them on YouTube at the time, I began to dream that he was watching these videos. And I noticed that my dreams began to take a turn to where he had a personal disdain and hatred for me. Okay, and that concerned me because one of them in particular, I titled it Exiled, and I believe it's from 2012 or 2013. And that dream was actually dealing with, I was at my aunt's house in the dream where I'm at right now, actually, but this dream is very old. And my father was in the dream, my mother, my aunt, her daughter, various different individuals that actually represented the body of Jezebel. And then there was me, the one who's actually born again, genuinely Christian in my family. And the government came to my aunt's house looking for me. And they were basically interrogating me and asking me, did you make these videos about Barack Obama? And I was scared. I don't even remember what I said. I think I did. Did I say I didn't, or did I confess to it? It's written in my binder somewhere. I can't really remember what I said. But I know that the Lord was showing the distinction between my relatives and me. My relatives were terrified. They were scared. It was very obvious that they were willfully going to just submit to whatever, the government wanted to do. So they're going to take the mark of the beast. He basically showed me that years ago through this dream who your family really is. They're the body of Jezebel. You're not really with them. You're not a part of them. But I think I did confess to doing the videos. I can't remember. I just know that it was a lot of men in black. And they came to my aunt's house looking for me, and I just remember the look on my aunt's face. Like, she just looked like, they ain't coming for me. Well, she looked like genuinely scared, but, you know. And the second half of that dream dealt with them taking me and a few other Christians to, like, some deserted area, and they were gonna, it felt like they were gonna behead us, but I understood that we were being exiled from the country as well. Like, they basically kicked us out of America, or probably the world. I don't even know where we were, but I could feel in the dream that they were going to kill us. And it was very, very few of us. It was me and like a few other people. I couldn't even see who they were. But so dreams like that. Okay, I have several dreams of Barack Obama knowing who I am, and the Lord has made it clear to me that it's literal. He knows who you are personally. So I don't know if when Christians were doing content like that at that time. I mean, I'm sure, with that kind of revelation coming out, that's not a coincidence that in 2012, God was giving all these dreams to Christians about who that man really is. And he still is. Okay, I had another dream about Obama recently, maybe a month ago, that I'm going to share in this video. But, yeah, so most of my dreams about Barack Obama, the first dream the Lord ever gave me about him, showing me that he was the Antichrist, was in 2012. And I was so in disbelief that it was actually the president that when I first posted about it on Facebook, I kept saying, the Lord showed me who the Antichrist was, but it looked like Barack. And it's like, Brandy. That's how in disbelief I was for what I was being prophetically shown. I didn't even say it's him. I said it looks like him, even though it was him in the dream. I have all of these dreams like written down though, so it's fine. I just don't have them on YouTube anymore because when I started dreaming that he knew who I was, and I had a dream like that basically where they came looking for me because I did content about him. It just kind of made me feel like I think there's some dreams that God doesn't want Christians to release. Like maybe he just showed you so you can have it for your personal knowledge. Or maybe there's a certain time or season where he may want you to share it with other Christians, but I think Christians are just generally just loose with just sharing stuff and just like speaking on anything, without any real wisdom, without any real leading or instruction. So I just took them down because I was like, well, if my videos are contributing to his personal knowledge of me and whatever, I just, you can create problems for yourself that God probably didn't really intend, because we're going to go through the tribulation period. And I guess in my mindset, I'm just like, I don't want to be the reason why this man, actually, the Lord has actually shown me that my death is going to be by Barack Obama, like literally, directly. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So was that the case before you started sharing your dreams, or is that now a consequence because you put that stuff on YouTube? Like, I don't know. But I mean, I feel like at this point it's just too late. I mean, he knows who you are. I'm not the only Christian I've seen on YouTube that said that, they felt in the dream that Barack Obama had a personal hatred for them. It could just be a Christian thing. But yeah, so the Lord's already shown me what my death is gonna be like. I was much older, much more mature in Christ. I felt totally different than where I'm at now, and I understood that it was by him personally. So take that how you want to take it. That dream is written down. It's 20 pages long. There's a lot of stuff going on in that dream that I did do a video about in 2016, but I guess it just didn't get re-uploaded when I put my second channel up. I'm not led to share it. It's a lot of stuff that would discourage and scare a lot of Christians, so I'm not going to put that up, but I have it written, so yeah. But this dream is this video actually is not really going to be about him so much. I'm going to share the dream I had about him a month ago in like the latter half of this video. What I want to talk about that I just woke up from, I said all that to say, I don't watch the news. I don't follow anything going on with Islam, Muslims. I follow, brothers and sisters who constantly talk about Islam and Muslim, and I don't even watch it because I'm going to be honest, I don't care about none of that stuff. I don't care who's getting saved in Islam. I don't care what Muslim became a Christian. I don't care who Jesus came to, because they ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just be straight up. Like anytime I see it in my newsfeed, I get annoyed. They ain't got nothing to do with me and what's going on in my life. But, shout out to those new, relatives in Christ. I'm glad that, people are getting saved. I hope that people everywhere else get saved, okay? But I don't follow any of this stuff. I hear about it, like, in earsight, for lack of a better term, about like, them beheading and kidnapping recently, whatever they're doing. I don't follow it. But I have been having a couple dreams lately that's kind of concerning me. And the one that I just woke up from, I'm going to try my best to kind of describe what was going on. So just kind of bear with me. And it just really centered around Americans for some reason, and I mean people that like some relatives I knew like personally in my personal life, and also like even some like D-list celebrities. Nobody like, I mean people like Blueface, because he was actually in this dream for whatever reason. I don't know how much of this is symbolic. It requires interpretation. I'm sure some elements could be very literal and direct. I'm just going to share what I dreamt, okay? And y'all can do what y'all want to do with that. The one I just woke up from, it was just random Americans, like people that we would see in our city, in our own state, grocery store, moving to, becoming Muslims for one, and moving to wherever these people live at, because I don't know where they live. Okay. I just thought it was very strange. And basically, to sum up my dream that I had, it just seemed like Islam was taking over like America. And it felt so close. That's what made me so uncomfortable, because it was people that was turning over to Islam that was like Blueface, who's a rapper I don't even listen to or follow, but I'm aware, like I kind of follow his relationship with Krishan Rock on the internet just for like, like, oh, okay, they're doing too much, just kind of watching little stuff like that. But he's not someone I actually follow, but he was someone in this dream who was like converting to Islam, and he was like converting his children over as well. And I just saw it was him, and it was just like other random people doing this. One of them was my cousin, who is not even a religious person by far. She's not a Christian. She's completely worldly. She would have no reason to do something like this, but I saw her. I understood that she was moving. It was like a whole bunch of people were just like becoming Muslims, and they were moving to wherever, I don't know, hell, country, wherever these people live at. And and I was just like, what I just did a few minutes ago. I was just scratching my head, just looking around, like, what is going on? And and all the while, although there were people becoming, Muslims and moving, there were also like true Arabic people and like Muslims coming over here and taking over. And one of them had to do with my grandmother's house. And I thought it was just the strangest thing. My grandmother's been in her house for over, um, since I was like a child, like 7 years old. I'm 31 now. So my grandmother has been in her house for like decades. And in this dream, her house was completely stripped, completely empty because some Muslim man, they were basically coming to America and just taking over. And my grandmother's house is one of the places they were taking over. So, and they were bringing like their country values and like morals and belief systems over into ours. To the point to where, like, for example, and this is something that was significant in the dream that I remember, so I'm going to say it, even though it's like, it may seem random. You know how, like, if you would go to an Airbnb, or if you just, like, go to, like, your relative's house and you cover up with blankets, you know, you're not paying for the blankets. It just, or how many blankets you're using, it's just that. But, like, when the Muslims were coming over, the man was taking over my grandmother's house completely, and he was like making it his own. It was so many Muslims literally coming over, like, to America, that was just like completely transforming everything that we have going over here. And this one man was talking to me like, the way my personality is, honey, I pray I get it together before the tribulation period, because I didn't care who this man was or what he was going to try to do to me. I was going off on him because he was just irritating me. And I was in my grandmother's house, and he was telling me, if you want to stay here, if you want to visit, this home or continue to stay here, you're going to have to pay, to use this blanket. And it was just a situation where like, say it was like 3 blankets on the bed. They were like, you have to pay their currency for like each like blanket. It was just some weird stuff that was taking place in the dream. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? And my cousin, like someone who is not religious, she's completely worldly, she was converting over. She was converting her kids. I saw people doing weird stuff in the street to show like their commitment to like Islam, like, and denouncing Christ. Like, and I don't know if this part of the dream was symbolic. As I was watching it happen in the dream, it didn't seem like it was. It seemed like something someone would actually be doing that would be on the news, because it was just like bizarre. But it could be symbolic dream wise. But I saw this guy. He had like 2 or 3 kids with him. One was a very young baby, like not even a year old, maybe like 6 or 7 months, not even that. And he was taking his children, and he was like lining them up like on the ground in the middle of the street to form a cross, like an upside down cross, to show Islam or some Muslim men, whoever the superiors were, that he was going to surrender over to Islam and paying like homage to Allah. And he was sacrificing his kids to do that. But he was doing it in a way to where he was like laying all the children down in a line to form like an upside down cross. And it was like kind of triggering me, because I'm just like, why does he have his infant child like on the ground? Like, what are these people doing? And the vibe, the impression I got, I knew what was going on. It's just the details of what I was seeing that I thought was just so bizarre. I understood that Islam was taking over America, but it just felt very close, because it was people that were converting. And I think the conversion, from what I felt, when I saw Blueface doing it online in my dream, and he was doing the same manner of things with his children as well. Because for some reason in my dream, it wasn't just the parents that had to convert. It was like the whole family. They were doing the children too. And these are people who are not even Christian religious people that were converting over. So sometimes it was done out of fear for some people. And some people, like Blueface, they just kind of saw like a benefit out of it, to just, transfer over to this currency and just their belief system and their morals. And so although it was taking over America, they were still moving from America to go to like their land and stuff, whatever. And so then there were some parts where I was in the land, And it kept going back and forth from like me being in America and literally watching America get stripped. Like my grandmother's house, I guess, was meant to be a symbol of that. I've never seen my grandma's house that empty. And it was like this random Muslim man just came and just completely took over and was talking to me like I was a stranger in my own relative's house. And I was just looking at him like, there is a point, I don't remember too vividly because I just woke up, but there is a point when me and this Muslim man was actually getting into it because I don't care about none of y'all. I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. There's never going to be any respect towards you. Y'all are crazy as hell. And it was like he was expecting me to have the same fear that everybody else did and to bow down to him, and I just didn't. And yeah, I was watching him just put his stuff, his bedding, his daughters, and just making these weird demands, and charging for stuff that it was not an American thing that they were doing. It was just very, very strange. It felt like some like um I don't know. What am I trying to say? Just felt like some Muslim big brother type of like stuff going on. Americans were leaving. Everybody was converting to Islam. People that it just didn't even make sense. Like people who are not religious, like rappers, celebrities, random relatives of mine. I was trying to figure out for the life of me, they were moving over into their country, and I was just trying to I remember it was a big question. I never got a revelation of like, why is everybody moving? It was like they saw some benefit. um I don't know if the currency was cheaper there. It was just something so weird. Like, why is everybody leaving? It was a better life there or something, or I don't know what they were told, but they were just giving themselves over like easily, and it was bothering me to see them doing it with their children because I'm like, why are y'all like so easily converting over into these people's religion? Like, these people are crazy, and they didn't care. So I don't know if this kind of symbolically represented the mark of the beast, and it could, because Islam is a branch of the mark of the beast. There's people who have actually exposed that on YouTube very thoroughly. It's very deep. Y'all need to check that out. I actually have a brother who did a video about that. I'm going to link his video as well recently. But Islam is a mark of the, it is a branch of the mark of the beast. It's not the only thing. But, so it could be that too. The fact that I just saw different types of people that maybe could have just represented the world in general, just kind of converting and eventually giving themselves over. But maybe the way it could be presented to us is not the way people are expecting the mark of the beast to be. Because if I saw my cousin doing it in Blueface, it was just like, and Blueface is hype about it. He was just like, yeah, man, I'm about to, do this big one, leaving his mansion, and he's like taking his kids, and he's like, he's about to go, to their country, and he's about to just completely convert over to their currency and their way of living. And it was just so weird. I was just like, something is very off about all of this. But as it was like we were leaving and going into their territory, and they were coming into ours and take it over in a way that it felt very like dictator like type of stuff. They were not nice people at all. Like I do believe that me and this man fought at some point in my dream. I just don't remember it. Something happened because I was going off on him. But and the thing is, sometimes I don't remember my dreams. So as I was dreaming this dream, I had a witness in my spirit that it was the second time I was dreaming this. So I've dreamt this twice. And that's concerning me because I'm like, there's a lot of stuff with Islam going on right now. Everybody talking about it. I don't be watching it, but I see it like in my news feed. And if I'm being shown this prophetically as a prophet from the Lord, there may be some truth to like what something's about to take place. I don't know what that's about to look like, but that's what I was dreaming about. And then there are some parts of the dream, like I said, where I was in their territory, and man, listen, I don't know what their culture is like. There were some parts where I was in water with some people from America who were converting over, and just people who have always been there. It just had a vibe of like, oh, we're gonna move to this different country because it's easier way of living there. Currency's different, things are cheaper. We can like, grow better over there. It was like that type of energy, like something somebody would do moving to Thailand or Africa or something. So, but they were doing it with like Islam and, their land. So I was in water, like maybe to shop market wise. And it kept encountering these unclean entities. They looked like people, but they weren't people. They looked like deities. And, I'll try to like, the best way I can describe it is maybe I'll try to find like a picture on Google and I'll have that picture as the thumbnail for this video. Um, and I encountered quite a few figures that looked like that in their land, and I don't know if they just represented like spirits or, but I just know that when I was around them and when I saw them, that it was the Lord just showing me how defiled the intentions, the motives, the religion, the spirit behind all this stuff really is. Like, there's a curse, there's a wool over everybody's eyes that nobody can see, and they're just blindly converting over into this stuff. And I would just, as soon as I saw that thing and I was like coming up towards it as I was walking through the water, that was another thing. Like, why are we shopping for groceries walking in the water? Like, this was just weird. And the entity looked like, honey, you know how them Hindu gods and goddesses be looking with all these different colors and just snake heads and just weird, like, tattoo. It was just strange looking. It was not a human, like, something very creepy about that. But they were fine with it. They were comfortable, like, submitting to whatever these deities or entities were. And it was like tied into like Islam somehow. But I mean, I saw black people, like regular average black people, that y'all would be like, what are y'all doing? Like, who don't even care about church? Like, they were converting over to this stuff and moving. So I don't know if it's a situation to where the government like kind of came to us and like made us some type of offer, because I just thought it was very strange. I said, why are we moving out of our territory and they're coming over and taking over it? It was just very, I don't know. But obviously I didn't submit to any of this. There was a point where I was just kind of sticking around in America like a ghost town because so many people had left. So I personally wasn't submitting to anything. I was watching this stuff kind of happen, and I dreamt this twice, which bothers me. So I just don't have a good vibe about any of this stuff. It makes me very uncomfortable. And like, I'm not a person who watches the news. I don't follow none of that stuff. Even if there's some elements of some things I feel like God wants us to pay attention to for like end time's sake, I don't even watch that, to be honest. I'm just kind of like, listen, I'm just that kind of sister. I feel like if God needs to show me something like that's important that I should know when it comes to stuff like that, he'll just shoot a dream to me, because that's how me and him communicated. Well, he did. Okay, twice. I dreamt this twice. And it's just very, very disturbing. I don't like it at all. I don't know, and it felt like they had a lot of power too. They were just coming over here and just really making America their own, like bringing their beliefs, their morals, I mean, it was not an American like government anymore at all. Buying us out, however they were doing that. And yeah, my grandmother's house was completely empty. I had never seen her house look like that. And this man, it was just a strange, like, poverty type of energy they were bringing into America. Like, they were gonna make you pay to like use a blanket. Like, it was weird stuff that was like significant symbolism that I just thought was very strange. Like, oh, it's not just you coming over to your grand's and chilling on the bed with 3 blankets and watching a show. It was like, nah, if you want to use these blankets, you're gonna pay for each, like you gotta rent the sheets or something. It was just some weird stuff going on. But that's what I just woke up from. And I'm just like, okay. When I felt that witness in my spirit that I dreamt this twice or before this one, I said, nah, this is definitely from the Lord. I must have forgot the first one, because sometimes that happens with me. Sometimes I can feel that I kind of had an essence of a dream and I'll ask him to give it back. And the second time around, it'll be a lot more vivid. So something's going on. And I wanted to share that because I'm sure it's linked to all the other stuff that's been going on with Muslims and Islam and stuff lately. And I am not somebody who follows any of that mess, because I do not care. Now, moving on to the dream that I wanted to talk about that I had about Obama. This could have been 2 months ago. I want to say this. I said that I have many dreams about him in the beginning, just to show that this is not it's not random in the sense of me knowing who he is or things that God has already revealed to me about him. I have them written down. Some of them, they're even published on YouTube. They're not public. I just have them on here for like filing, just in case I lose it or something. I can always go back to my channel and rewatch and re-listen to what I said, stuff like that. But they're not public. Okay, I shared why they're not public. So when I had this one like a month or two ago, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of surprised. I said, I haven't had a dream about Obama since like when he was around, like in presidency, and God actually felt it necessary to show Christians all this stuff about him. But I haven't had any dreams about him in a while. And because the contents of it and my role in the dream, it kind of bothered me. And I was like, I don't want to put that on YouTube because I don't really know what that means. But I'll try my best to speak from memory. And y'all can interpret accordingly, because I kind of feel like as you speak a dream out loud, it kind of starts to like make sense to you what that probably meant symbolically. And I feel like I do know when I say it, but y'all do y'all thing. Okay. So in this dream, which was recent, I was a part of some church building that did not look like a church. It was a building where I understood a church service was taking place. It was completely dark. There were tons of people who were attending this same service with me, or the same building for different purposes. Everybody was not going to the service that I was going to. And there's a situation to where we all had to get on an elevator. So we get on the elevator. All of a sudden, listen to me closely with this part. I need you to listen. Tons of random people are all appointed to the same place. I'm one of these people. We all get on this elevator packed. All of a sudden, the place catches on fire. Randomly. Elevator's on fire. Elevator starts falling down God's speed into the ground. And I remember as I was dreaming this, I was like, oh, this is definitely demonic. Like, that's impossible. How can an elevator just be falling, like, into the ground? I don't know how elevators are made, but I'm sure there's some type of stopping point. The elevator that I was on, not only was everything on fire and I saw people dying, I was not one of them for whatever reason. You're about to find out why in a few minutes. But the elevator, I just thought that was so strange how in this dream, the elevator just kept going down and down, like descending further and further and further. And I remember thinking, I said, where's this elevator going? Like at some point, like an elevator has to like stop and hit, rock or the foundation or something. And it crashes. Now listen to this. As the elevator crashes, people are dead. Except me and maybe a couple other people, literally. I mean, it had to be like, this elevator possibly could have held like 10 to 12, 15 people for this dream. And I just thought that was very ironic how everybody else died and crashed in this accident. And I came out alive with a couple other people. And just talk, Brainy, just talk. I'm sorry. I'm so used to rambling. Let me get to the point. When the elevator door opened, it opened to an upside down type of reality, to where I just keep thinking bottomless pit for some reason. When the elevator doors open, it basically opened up to this huge like hotel upscale like office. It was as if I came through the side of a wall into an office that was worshiping Barack Obama. And I immediately discerned, as I was coming out of this elevator, this accident was obviously set up and intentional, because how am I coming out untouched? But the situation I was coming into, it was like as if I just came into some side door into the White House type of stuff. It was like that kind of vibe, but it wasn't the White House. It was like Obama, some building or some matrix that he owned, and literally everything you could possibly think of, like hotels, restaurants, fast food restaurants, like he was on it. And I came out of this accident where everything was on fire and all these people died. And it was maybe a man in a suit came out with me and two other people, and I came through this like door into, I don't know, what looked like an office or some type of hotel setting, very upscale, very, very nice, very fancy. But I immediately noticed that everything was centered around Barack Obama. And I began to realize, oh, this was set up. He basically wanted us there. Like it kind of felt like he handpicked me and whoever these other select few people were, and he just sacrificed and killed off everybody else. Maybe they had to make it look like an accident because nobody knew that this secret door existed. And so I'm coming out and I'm kind of crawling through, and that's the first thing I saw. I remember I saw this emblem of like a icon that would be on like a logo or something that was on like the Brandy. The front of like the hotel, I don't know, whatever. And it was Obama, and he was in a chariot, but it was shown to be like a pharaoh. And I immediately realized, I said, okay, now I see when we were descending. I think the descending and falling on the elevator was like the bottomless pit type of thing to represent who he is as the beast. And I don't know what part I had in that, but I could feel that he had picked us. But the way they were so strategic with like plot planning that whole thing out, making it look like an accident and a crash and all this stuff, and we actually didn't die at all. He never intended for us to die. He obviously wanted to use us for something. And I have quite a few dreams like that with him doing that with me, and I'm not gonna publicize that. But this one is just like I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was so interesting. He had an icon where he was Pharaoh, same tone of Pharaoh, the same role that Pharaoh plays in the Bible, but it was him. And I felt his identity and his mantle and who Obama really is in the earth. And I felt his power in this dream. And I knew that he had rule, like over government, over the world, and I just felt and just knew who he was. I don't think I got to actually encountering him personally in this dream, but I could feel that we were selected and we were invited, and he found a way to get us there to kind of use, and there was no way. Oh yeah, and yeah, okay, so thank you, I forgot. The icon, the logo where it was Obama as Pharaoh, he was doing this. It was like a smiling like a jester, like a clown, and it was 666 on the little icon, and he had like a little Pharaoh's like hat on. And I felt this ancient kind of like impression or revelation that even in times past, this is who this man always was. It's who he was always meant to be. Anytime you hear about Pharaoh when you're studying scripture, it was always pointing to him, the way Moses and Joseph pointed to Christ. Like Obama has his place rooted in like destiny, period. It's already written who this man is and who he's gonna be. So I guess when we descended into this bottomless pit, and whatever this world was, or this underground, like whatever this place was, like, he was worshipped here. Everything had his name on it. It was like a future tense type of like utopia government type of thing. He was on everything, every single thing. And I was walking around, and gosh, man, this was a couple months ago. I didn't even write this down because I just kind of felt like I kind of already knew what it meant, and it wasn't something I really cared to like. I don't know. I just understood that this was his world, and he just kind of ran everything for the most part. And I felt that he had selected me, but I did not get a chance to actually see him and encounter him in this actual dream. But that's really all I can share. That's what happens when you're sharing a dream from memory. I just remember just feeling kind of played. Like, I thought I was in this freak accident, watching all these people die. I was devastated about it. I was like, oh my God, how is this possible? Where's this elevator going? Just to all find out that it was planned, just for him to get you here. And I could feel that he wanted to use me for some government type of. I felt like he had been watching you. He knows who you are. All of your previous dreams from previous years show this, and he purposely selected you for something. I stay having dreams like that. God has already kind of warned and showed me in dreams what they want to use me for government-wise. I have all this stuff written down, and I'm blind to any of this stuff. But like I said, I didn't get a chance to see him, but I could feel it as I was coming into this, what this is. And he's some type of God here, clearly. And unfortunately, that's all I can share, because I just don't really remember too much, except the men in the suit that came out with me. They had picked them to. And I think they were just submitting to the beast system. There were so many different. It just felt like a world like we have now, but everything was centered around him. Like how Jesus is supposed to be governor over the New Jerusalem. It was like the flip side of that, but Obama, and it was clearly showing. He was showing I am Pharaoh, and it had the 666 with a smiling gesture on all these icons and all these different buildings. Like he wasn't hiding it. Like this is who he is. So is there anything else, Holy Spirit, that I saw? I knew at some point I was going to meet him and find out whatever this, purpose was, but it just wasn't shown in that dream. But that was something that was delivered to me a couple months ago, and I don't even remember all the elements to that. But I feel like my other dreams are puzzle pieces that kind of show what he's trying to do with that. But that's it. Okay, so I just want to throw that in there. Like, I'm gonna just go ahead and share this dream too. But yeah, this Islam stuff, bro, I'm not down with that at all. Something's fishy going on for the Lord, because he know I don't follow stuff like that. So if he gotta get any, I'm not a fear mongering Christian. I don't watch the news. I don't care about nothing that has nothing to do with what God is doing in my life or what he plans to do with my destiny. So he knows that he gotta shoot something to me through a dream if he want me to know anything, because I'm not gonna be, oh look you guys, Islam's doing this and it lines up with this scripture and in the Bible. Like, I don't care. Okay, we got a lot of stuff going on, not just that. But nah, this is something important, and I don't know how soon this is going to take place. I feel like, God's timing, it could be a few years, but it felt like something that was happening now, because it was people that we know now. It was Blueface. It was, my cousin. It was like they were making their way over here with their bull crap and pretty much taking over, which I feel like the dream it's self-interpreting. I mean, it's kind of direct, they're going to take over. It is what it is. And your relative and Blueface, those are worldly people, maybe to just show different types of people who are not in the Lord. They're obviously going to take the mark of the beast and they're going to convert over with no problem. And maybe because it's going to be presented in a way that will benefit them. And they're not going to care about they were renouncing Christ. So maybe the bizarre part that I was seeing that American man do with his children, where he was, lining them up on the pavement in the form of an upside down cross. I knew that it meant that they were renouncing Christianity. They were doing it willfully. It wasn't like these were Christians who like had a conviction and were just like, being forced. Like, no, these are worldly people. So I think like maybe it just showed like different types, different statuses of people in the world. Like my relative, my cousin, and my little cousins are kids, and rappers and stuff like that. I mean, they were converting over to this stuff with no problem. They understood stuff was about to change up, and they were just making moves that was going to be better for them and their families maintenance wise, without thinking what this could be spiritually. What are you signing yourself over to? All they knew was, well, they want to take over everything anyway, so let's get in good with them. It was like that type of energy. I said, this is the mark of the beast. And they were coming over to America like taking over. Like, it didn't look the same. It was not the same. It was very like dictatorship type stuff going on. And I was just kind of standing just like, aloof, just looking around like, this is mad weird. I was uncomfortable. I was angry that everybody around me was just giving themselves over, like taking up their stuff and their families and going over to their land and taking up their religion. Like, but they weren't Christians. So it's like, you can't be that mad because they're not your people anyway. But it was just still unsettling to experience. And, I wasn't around any people that I knew like Christian wise. It was just something God just wanted me to see, I guess. But that's what I just woke up from. Okay, so something is definitely like taking place. Maybe he just wants us to prepare for that. Seek the Lord on how he wants you to prepare for something like that. But I feel like we kind of already knew this in advance anyway. Like, there's Christians who've already exposed that Islam is a branch of the mark of the beast anyway, and I think Obama's tied in with that because he don't look black to me. I've said this on everybody's platforms. Like, I be trolling sometimes, but sometimes I be serious. Like, if you look at Barack Obama does not look mulatto. And that's what they keep saying. They keep saying that he's mixed. Like, Barack Obama does not look mixed. He looks Arabian. He looks like them people over there. If you really look at him and take his fade away, he looks like them. So, yeah, that doesn't shock me that Islam is a part of the mark of the beast. It's in scripture. And like I said, although there's many YouTubers who I know for a fact have broken this down years ago, there is a brother who did it recently, and he kind of like touches on it simply, and he gets to the point to where you can understand it simply. And I'll post his video so y'all can kind of see what I'm talking about. But that's what I woke up from. It's the second time I dreamt it, and you know what that means when you dream something twice, a repetition. Okay, that's definitely the Lord. He's trying to get your attention. It's not just some ice cream dream. This is real, and that's happening.